Booyah, and it's time for the Game Sports Show, the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show. It is your host, David McCaig. It is October the 23rd, 2019, and we're here live inside Sports Center Bar and Grill, where it's a busy night here inside Sports Center Bar and Grill, and obviously so. It's famous 75-cent wing nights here on the Wednesdays. It's actually busy here every night, so make sure you come on down to Sports Center and join the fun atmosphere to watch the game, just be a part of the great atmosphere, have the great food. Either way, Sports Center has many different menu options and beverages to make your night enjoyable. I'm here joined by Justin Hykel and Matt Premo. I'm going to get to the fellas in just a few moments. Just want to make sure I remind you that you have a chance to win 4 tickets to the Miller Lite Tap Room inside Detroit, Michigan's Ford Field to see the Detroit Lions, which you come watch football here at Sports Center Bar and Grill. And the game this weekend, the Lions play against the Giants, and Jesse Anson was the winner for that one. And he gets to see the Giants and the Lions inside the tap room. The next draw will be for the game that the Lions play against the Dallas Cowboys on November the 17th. So make sure this Sunday and for the following week's games, make sure you come on down here to Sports Center to have your name put in the draw for the opportunity to go see the Lions play inside the tap room. I want to give a shout out to Butch Davis and Scott Nason in terms of getting a lot of our Detroit coverage there, especially through our show on Monday from ESPN 1400 and through Butch on Sports. They do a lot of coverage with the Lions, as we do here as well on our Wednesday show involving In the Pocket. So we're very happy they're able to join us here and through all our shows on the Game Sports Show. And speaking of Scott Nason, I want to give him another special shout out as he's going to be the board operator tonight. I'm not even the assistant board operator tonight. The reason why is that we got a spare laptop on hand right now because the real laptop is under repairs, if you will, due to an unfortunate circumstance. So, and that's all I'm going to keep it at as I get a couple giggles from my co-host here. So if there's any technological issues, don't hesitate to comment below or reach out, as we are using an older computer with newer equipment, and it was a fun time getting the equipment set up here. So we want to make the experience listening-wise for you the best as possible. But I want to make sure I remind you to listen to previous shows of the game on thegamesportshow.com or through our multimedia platforms, Facebook, through Instagram, through Podbean, which is thegamesportshow.podbean.com, or as well through our ESPN 1400 stream, or our channels through Sanu Online on TV with our Tuesday edition. So Monday, Tuesday we have a show, Wednesday we have a show here, Thursday at Northern Superior Brewing Company. Monday's show was uploaded to Podbean with Scott, EJ, and Butch. Yours truly was unable to attend. Yesterday, which was Tuesday, from Sanu Online, we did not have a live show as we had a last-minute cancellation there. And I want to give my special apologies to all the listeners and viewers for not only just missing Tuesday, but last Thursday's edition of the Game Sports Show. Due to the laptop unfortunate events occurring, the laptop malfunction, we were unable to upload Thursday's show as well. So we appreciate everyone for being patient, but also keeping it locked here on the Game Sports Show. And also I want to give a special shout out to Frank Ligori and the staff here at Sports Center for their great hospitality. And I must say that we always keep it locked here on the game. We should be hopefully keeping it locked here on the game as we cover all the local sports needs. And we have an action-packed show for you as always. We have In the Pocket here. They're going to be discussing right off the hop after the introduction. And then we're going to have Conner Henderson come on at the end of the show, which will be a part 3 right after In the Pocket, where he's going to talk about the World Series of Baseball. So this show is basically going to be purely just NFL, local football, and MLB. Tomorrow, which will be a Thursday edition from Northern Superior Brewing Company, will have all the hockey content you need to know to get caught up to date. Basketball discussion as well that we also do talk here on a Wednesday show, but we're going to bring that to tomorrow, and all other hot topic news. Today, due to time constraints, we do only have time for football and MLB. I want to catch my breath there after a nice lengthy introduction, and sending my apologies to the listeners again for the unfortunate circumstances with our previous broadcast from here in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. But without further ado, Justin Hykel, Matt Premo, going to Matt Premo first. Thanks for coming here tonight. And let me catch my breath and catch a drink for a second. You can say hi to the listeners.
Yeah, no, glad to be back. Exciting week here locally with 2 city championship games, junior and senior on tap Thursday, Friday. So lots to talk about. Excited to get into it.
Definitely. Thank you. I love to have my nice sip there, courtesy of Sports Center Bar and Grill in Molson. Justin Hykel, my friend. Last Thursday when you were here, we did a great show on Thursday that nobody is able to hear, unfortunately, after
no
it was
one
a great
will
show.
ever hear it now.
Yeah, it's actually deleted.
The best show we've ever done.
Oh, wow.
And it's no one will ever hear it.
No, and it's because our hard drive broke because of something.
Yeah, or someone.
Who knows?
Something or
mystery.
someone.
What happened to that laptop? If someone guesses the mystery, you might get a prize courtesy of the Game Sports Show.
Someone had a malfunction, and then the computer had a malfunction.
Too much malfunctions going on.
Round of
like
malfunctions for the fellas.
Definitely. Now, going forward, we obviously have our show tonight. Tomorrow from Northern, it'll be myself, Justin, and Alex there on tap. We also have some great shows coming up with Paul Merlino, the concussion doctor in town. We're going to be working to do a concussion segment through our Sue Online and our radio broadcast as well. And we have a lot of special guests coming on for the show in the coming weeks. So we have lots of stuff for you here on the game. But as the one only man, Matt Premo said, it's a big weekend for local football. And the Game Sports Show will be there to cover those games and be on location to cheer on the local teams in their final matchup as the city finals have taken place, as you would have heard on our Monday edition from ESPN 1400, as Scott Nason did a fantastic job. And I know Justin will attest to this. The information that Scott has and the news that he's able to discuss on radio, it's amazing, right, Justin?
How he puts so much information in a paragraph.
Yeah.
Like much like Scarpino's writing is, it's just, it makes you feel smarter after you've read it because it's so bang on.
Yeah, we don't follow a script on the show. That's our one rule. Why I brought people
in case no one ever noticed that.
So we don't follow a script, but we know what the results are. We get the stats and everything, but we get coverage on the game, and with the coverage in the games, we write articles for them to use for radio or coverage. And Scott does an amazing job with his coverage and discussion. It's truly fantastic, and definitely make sure. I want to give a special extra love to Scott because I know he's going to have a fun time editing the show for us based on our little, I guess you can say, older laptop experience recording today. Now, without further ado, let's kick off in the pocket. And I want to go to a few pieces of news so we transition into this weekend. As you would have heard on Monday, and as we uploaded on our Facebook page and all through our social media, kind of the updates in sports. But going to the Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, as Scott did talk a lot about the Upper Peninsula Michigan sports football. He did discuss about Sault, Ontario, but we're going to dissect it a bit more here tonight. For the high school senior football, St. Mary's will be advancing to the city finals. A 25-yard field goal by Kyle Finateri midway through the fourth quarter was a difference maker as St. Mary's Knights squeezed out a 16-14 win over the Superior Heights Steelhawks in semifinal action in senior high school football loop. The win sends the Knights into next week's city finals against the Korah Colts. Well, that is the key word as next week in our analysis there. That is this Friday. 7:30 this Friday, and that will be at Superior Heights, that game against Korah. Going to the junior sector quick, Korah advances to the city finals there. The Korah Colts earned a spot in the junior football rankings to go to the finals as I want to use the word cruised. I think that'd be a good word to use here. Cruised to a 56-13 win over St. Mary's on last Thursday night at Superior Heights. The Colts will now face Superior Heights Steelhawks, which will be this Thursday at 6 p.m. In the junior final. And now I will note that these teams both finished the regular season 5-1, as Premo may correct me if I'm wrong, but
that's correct.
Right?
Yep.
With the Steelhawks getting the top seed in this, because I think that's head-to-head.
Point differential.
So the two teams met last week with Korah beating Superior Heights 43-20. Makes for an interesting final on both ends. I want to go touch with the junior first. Give us your inside analysis there, Matt Premo.
Yeah, the junior, they both tied 5-1, but Superior Heights got the bump due to the point differential. They beat them pretty handily earlier in the season. And Superior Heights and Korah definitely separated themselves from St. Mary's and White Pines this year in the junior loop. So they're the top of the league, clearly, based on their record and their performance. And it's interesting because early in the season, Superior Heights got the victory, and then Korah comes back late in the season, has a big victory against Superior Heights. So it's interesting. I think Korah is clicking at the right time right now. They're firing all cylinders. I know Coach Bernabucci has those guys ready to play. I was watched some of their practice the other day, and they're ready to go. But there are some great athletes on that Superior Heights team. It's going to be a really good game. It's going to be hard fought. It's going to be very close. My ex-teammate from the Sioux Steelers, Brandon Lewis, is going to have that Superior Heights team ready to go. He's a motivator for sure. Those guys will be ready to go for a state championship and ready to knock Korah off. Korah's junior team hasn't lost a state championship in several years now.
Yep.
So Superior Heights are going to be motivated, and they got a lot of talent on that team, and they got some really big boys on the offensive defensive line. It should make for a really exciting game, and I think it's going to be within one score for sure.
It's going to be a tight matchup, Justin? You know what? The local football scene is very exciting, and the Game Sports Show is going to be here every step of the way to give you the coverage on the local football side. But the finals between Korah and Superior Heights has come a long way as well, and obviously they have a great opportunity to dethrone the Korah Colts this upcoming weekend.
I think it's a really big challenge for them, that's for sure. I think Korah does come in with that the aura of being the defending champs, and Superior Heights
and riding off a win in the last week. That's a confidence booster. That gives you the belief. If you didn't have it, because Superior Heights, I believe, before they lost, were 5-0 before they lost.
Superior Heights was dominating, cruising through the league, and they had some. Even when they played Korah, their first matchup of the season, they beat them by 3 scores. So it wasn't really close. And then Korah has made some improvements and kind of peaking at the right time and came back and had a big victory. I know Korah was trying to get that point differential up during the end of that game to kind of clinch that first place spot, but either way, it doesn't matter. They're going to face each other on tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, and we'll find out who comes out on top.
Be a big game. Now, the Game Sports Show, obviously, we do have a recording from Northern Superior tomorrow, myself, Justin, Alex, but we'll make sure we have a representative on scene doing the coverage. Myself and Justin will be there on Friday, though, for sure, so we'll definitely be getting into that game. Right now, though, the Friday game, the senior football, Korah Colts and the St. Mary's Knights. Now, tight matchup. That tight game that was with St. Mary's and Superior. Can you, obviously that is last week's news, quote unquote, and we like to keep our news as relevant and new as possible, but can you just give us a quick reaction, about, that is awesome. That's a low scoring game. We think it's only 2 scores in a field goal, essentially, or around there, a couple field, whatever way you want to look at it. Exciting game, and it's going to, to have a 16-14 win to go to the finals is just a nail-biter.
Yeah, I was able to catch that one live last week. It was a great game, and kudos to Superior Heights. They did a great job. They were a little bit low on numbers. They were right around 24 guys on their roster. I know they had a big injury. Their star running back, Mitchell Delavadova. I'd like to give a shout out. He just committed to University of Queens for next season, so nice. Congratulations to Mitch. They were missing him. He broke a bone in his hand, so he was out. But with him out, and he's their big offensive weapon, they did a great job. They actually dominated that first half, and they were up 6-0 at one point, and St. Mary's was able to get a score late in the first half and made it 7-6, and kind of were able to – they kept it close going into the fourth quarter, and then St. Mary's pulled ahead with a late field goal. There was opportunities for Superior Heights late in the game in the fourth quarter. They got the ball back with a chance to drive, and they had a nice big catch in the fourth quarter to kind of get them in around midfield range, close to scoring the scoring range for a potential field goal to win, but weren't able to convert on a first down. And St. Mary's, their defense played it really well as to boot. Both teams played great defensively. It'll be an interesting game this Friday. St. Mary's, their quarterback, Nick Pagnotta, looks to be healthy. Yeah. He was battling injury throughout the season, ankle injury, and he looks back 100%, so he poses a real threat to any defense. He's dynamic. We have the pleasure to coach him in the summer. Whenever he touches the ball, he has an opportunity to take it to the house. So looking forward to the matchup on Friday and see how things pans out. Korah is obviously a very strong team with a lot of depth, and that could be the difference in this one. Late in the season and city championship maybe come down to third, fourth quarter type of game, and that depth at Korah may prove beneficial. So we'll see, because there are some dynamic players on the other side of the field, and I'm sure that St. Mary's is going to have a good game plan and try and find a way to stop Korah's high-powered run offense, and it should be good. We'll see.
So you did kind of touch on it there, but before we go to break, before we get into part 2, which will be our NFL discussion, keys to the game for each team. One keynote, I know there's probably a lot of things when it comes to defeating each other, obviously, but if you had to label out one key matchup for the Colts to focus on and one key matchup for the Knights to focus on to defeat, to win and walk away the crown, what would you say?
So if I'm coaching on the St. Mary's sideline, I gotta sell out to stop the run. That's gonna be my game plan. Korah's run offense has been the best in the league for the last 3 seasons. It's no surprise. That's what they want to do. They want to run the football. And I think that's what, if I'm on the St. Mary's sideline, I'm trying to find a way to stop that run. And that may have to put them in some stress, and in the defensive backfield, they may have to play some man coverage. So, but I think that's what I'd be doing. I'd be forcing them to try and throw it and try and get my athletes matched up on their athletes and kind of hopefully shut them down. That'd be my game plan. On the Korah sideline, I mean, they're going to stick to what they do best. I think they're going to want to run the football. Yep. And, I mean, they do have some athletes out there at the receiver position, but I think they can wear St. Mary's down potentially through the run. And then if they need to take a shot, I mean, if they're going to get some man coverage, they may take a shot here and there. But, no, and then for Korah's defensive side of the ball, I think that they got to really make sure that Nick Pagnotta, they can keep him in check. If he's returning kicks, if he's designed quarterback runs from the quarterback position, he can be a real threat. So I think he's got to be the key and try and make him beat you with his arm as well. He's more of a threat than running, but they have some really good talented athletic receivers as well. So it should be an interesting matchup, but the big thing I might come down in the end, like I mentioned earlier, is the depth, and Korah has a little bit larger of a roster and less guys maybe going both ways, and late in the season, Korah coming off a bye, a little bit rested, any like nicks and bumps and bruises get some time to heal. So in the end, that could be the difference, but I expect a really good game. I mean, I expect it to be close and coming right down to the fourth quarter.
Like that. See, not only a great co-host all around, but great football analysis right there, especially local perspective, Preem. So awesome. We appreciate that as always. Justin, any final thoughts? I don't want to sewer you here because I know you have the football experience.
I mean, he was pretty well ticking all the boxes as we went through there.
Yeah.
I really don't have much to add.
We're just going to be there on Friday.
Yeah,
we're going to be there Friday. We're going to have a rep there on Thursday for us because we have recording to do, especially we're trying to bounce back and hopefully we get a Thursday upload for the first time in 3 weeks.
Bubble wrap your laptop.
Yeah, I might have to do that. If this last laptop breaks, I might not be able to move out of my parents' house for a while.
David isn't going to be happy about it.
No, David. That's what it says on the laptop. I like that. So, the Game Sports Show, Twin Sault's only local regional national sports show. Dave, Justin, and Matt, we are in the pocket currently, and we're going to call quick timeout. And when we're going to go to break, it's going to be a quick break. As Scott Nason is the board operator tonight, he's in charge of all the break times and everything of such. So we're following that guideline as per Scott Nason protocols. So we're going to go to that break. When we come back, we're going to get into some NFL discussion here as we're going to jump into discussion some Week 7 stuff, going into Week 8. Already Week 8, the National Football League. It's unbelievable. Season's already flying by. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to The Game. Welcome back to the Game Sports Show, the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show. Get into part 2 of today's show, or tonight's show, rather, should I say. Either way, whatever way you're listening to us, it's Dave McCaig, Justin Hykel, and Matt Premo at Sports Center Bar and Grill, the Sault's best sports bar. Continuing in the pocket here, we're not going to talk about Week 7. You know, it's already been discussed. It's a little bit of older news, and because of our time constraint, we usually do like to pick a game each and go around the table for the previous week on a Wednesday, but we're due to our time constraints here this evening, we're going to just jump into the next week. But we will say one quick update in terms of trade. You had Emmanuel Sanders that went over to the 49ers. Sanu go over to the Patriots. Some good depth moves for both teams. Premo, quick 30 seconds reaction about the trades.
Yeah, I mean, I think both teams make good moves. Both Super Bowl contenders, really. If you look at it, both undefeated right now, but both kind of had holes in their receiving core, with the Patriots this week putting Josh Gordon on injured reserve. Looks like he's done for the rest of the season. Yep. With the Patriots, at least, he may come back. It looks like maybe with another team, but the Patriots, he's done, so they have to fill that hole.
Yep. And with Antonio Brown up, well,
yeah.
You want to go down that road.
Yeah, the 49ers, I mean, they kind of had a group of receivers that were basically, you look at like 4 number 3 receivers on that team. So now they get a bona fide number 1, a guy that has been around the league, more of a veteran guy, and will garner the respect of other defenses. So they both kind of had the needs to add a receiver, and they went ahead and did it, and I think it even boosts their opportunity to make a push for the Super Bowl.
Definitely. Now, even Thielen has been ruled out for this upcoming week, and Patrick Mahomes did practice, and he should be good to go this week. And we did have a slight little volume spike there for that 5 seconds. Hopefully no one lost their eardrums there. We apologize here on the Game Sports Show, as mentioned from the top. New of old technology that we're using here tonight here for our Wednesday recording as we wait for our laptop to be replaced. Justin, I want to give a special thumbs up to Jacoby Brissett. Great week last week. I'm not going to talk about the Colts in its entirety because I don't want to make your head too big where you can't fit outside the door. Going into this upcoming week, fellas, you got Week 8 already happening in the National Football League, and first game of the week, you guys know the drill. We're going to go around the horn, give us our predictions for this week in games, quick little brief reaction. If you have that quick couple seconds in you to give that reaction, and then we just move on to the next game and so on and so forth. So the first game of the week is the Redskins and Vikings. The Redskins were a part of an absolute snooze fest, I want to say. A fucking brutal game for the 49ers.
If anyone watched that in game in its entirety,
or a quarter.
Really, or half a quarter. I give you a lot of respect because you must really be a fan of one of those two teams.
And I don't know how you wouldn't have fell asleep. But Redskins, Vikings, I'm going to go first. I'm going to say the Vikings are going to win. Redskins are a little bit of trouble, even without Thielen. I think the Vikings are still, they're favorites to win this game. They should win this football game. Primo?
Yeah, I think the Vikings are proving they're one of the best teams in the NFC, and Washington is maybe the worst team in the NFC. So we got the Vikings winning this.
Hykel.
Yeah, the Vikings. The end.
Yeah, the Vikings. The end. That is your Thursday football matchup. Seahawks-Falcons are not on Thursday. They're on Sunday. They're going to start our Sunday games from 1 o'clock. Seahawks-Falcons, Battle of the Birds. I'm going to go Seahawks. Hykel.
Seahawks, Falcons are terrible.
Wow.
Yeah,
Primo.
They looked really bad. I'm surprised the spread's only 3.5 on this, but I got the Seahawks.
Chargers-Bears. Chargers are a little bit of trouble, boys. Hey, the boys for the Chargers are coming out. It looks like Gordon's not looking great. Chargers defense is absolutely brutal.
That's a tough loss last week. You look like you have the game in hand, fumbling on the goal line. You had 3 shots at it. Melvin Gordon dropping the ball. That's a heartbreaker. I don't know how you bounce back from that.
Don't.
But Chicago didn't look great either. So they got to get it figured out there in Chicago because a lot of people had them contending for the Super Bowl, and they're far from it right now.
I'm going to say the Chargers, though. I got to say that I think they're going to win. Primo, you were saying?
I got the Bears.
The Bears.
I'm taking the Bears. Their defense is too good.
Good picks. Giants, Lions. We got Jesse Anson going to see that game here, brought to you by the Miller Lite Taproom Game Day Draws here at Sports Center Bar and Grill. I'm sorry, Primo. I'm going Lions. Hykel.
I'm taking the Lions.
Primo.
Yeah, it's tough being a Giants fan and them playing the Lions this week. I'm going to put my fan hat on, and I'm going to take the Giants because it's kind of a coin toss for me, and I think that they go on the road and get a win.
See, you got to believe in your team. I actually think I bet against the Steelers on my last pick. First time I ever bet against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and trying to keep the realism real. I like to say the realism real. Brutal. Jets, Jaguars. Hykel first.
I'm taking the Jags. The Jets are awful, and Sam Darnold might be seeing ghosts again.
Well, let's hope he's not.
Breams.
I'm actually going to take the Jets here. I think they're going to rally.
Is it Le'Veon Bell that got your interest, or what?
They're going to rally around that tough loss to the Patriots.
Yep.
I don't think the Jaguars are as good as people may think. That game against Cincinnati, they could have very well lost it, and Cincinnati is not good.
Oh, they're not good.
They are not good.
They're a rough football team.
They're bound to lose a game sooner or later, the Jaguars. I think they're kind of playing above their head. I think this is one where they drop one and the Jets get the win.
I'm going to go Jaguars. Gardner Minshew, man. Gardner Minshew. He's got to believe in Uncle Rico himself.
I think that's going to be a very popular Halloween costume this year.
I think so. I think a lot of people are going to be him for sure. Bengals, Rams. I'm going to choose the Rams for obvious reasons. Do we even need to discuss this game?
I think it's probably a unanimous Rams decision here.
Rams.
Okay, Buccaneers, Titans. I think I'm going to go with the Buccaneers on this one, but with Derrick Henry getting 2 touchdowns for the Titans, big game for Henry. I think you need to bounce back. But, you have currently Mike Evans and the boys with the Buccaneers being on bye week, come back rested. I'm going to take the Bucs. Preems.
Can Tannehill, he had a good game. Can he duplicate that in 2 weeks in a row? In the past, he's shown he hasn't been able to do that. But I'm going to say he does get the Tennessee Titans with another win.
Hike.
You know what? It's frustrating because Tannehill's got a run game there to support him. And really all he has to do is not screw it up. Tampa's defense, though, is pretty good.
Tampa's coming off bye as well.
If Tampa could decide on a running back that's not the one that they're going with, I think they'd be a lot better. Same for the quarterback position. Jameis Winston is the most frustrating player to watch. When when he shouldn't hold the ball, he holds the ball and gets killed. When he should get rid of it early,
just give the ball to number 1-3 out there and jack up my crispy McChicken fantasy points, please.
Yeah, I don't know.
God.
He's number 2.
I'm taking Tampa because I keep picking them this year, and they keep breaking my heart.
Keep breaking your heart, just like the Toronto Maple Leafs so far this year. Never mind, that's for Thursday's show. Eagles, Bills. Primo, go first.
Wow. Put me on the spot here. This is a tough one. I think it's going to be a really good game.
Is this the game of the week?
This may be
yeah.
surprisingly a game of the week. It's going to be tight. The Eagles didn't look good, but I don't know if the Bills are as good as people think. Their defense has been playing pretty solid.
Bills looked pretty bad last weekend, too.
Yeah. I mean, but their record, they have them sitting right behind the Patriots in their division.
Look at the division they play.
That division does suck. So it could be a little bit of false advertising there. But I think
the Korah Colts will get promoted if they win the city championship to this division.
Yeah. We relegate the Dolphins.
Yeah.
All right. I think that the Bills take it, though. I'm going to go Bills.
Hike.
I'm going with the Bills on this one just because I'm not an NFC fan.
I'm going to go with the Eagles just to keep it short and sweet. Colts, Broncos. I'm not going to you first, Hykel, but I'm going to the Colts. Primo.
I'll be attending this game this weekend, so I'm going to be live in Indianapolis watching the
Hykel,
Indianapolis
you're
Colts.
Upset, or?
No, he's been giving me some tips, place to go. He's been before.
Oh, you've been? Didn't know.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I got to go with the home team. I'm going to be cheering for the Colts while I'm there. I got Colts.
Hike.
I'm a little nervous. Spoiler: Broncos surprise quarterback Matt Premo is going to be there, but I think the Colts come out with the win still.
Okay, Colts. Hey, that's going to be a good football game to attend to, Primo. Saints, Cardinals. I'm going to go with the Saints. I think I have a unanimous decision probably around the table with that. But, Hykel.
Yeah, the Saints have been convincing with
Drew Brees is back this week, or is Teddy Bridgewater confirmed for sure?
I don't know. That's pretty up in the air.
I'm hearing that he is up in the air. I think Bridgewater is slated to start, though.
I think they give him another week. I don't think they rush him back.
They don't need to.
They're sitting in first in their division. Why would you rush?
Yeah.
And Teddy Bridgewater, he's beat some good teams.
Yep.
He beat Seattle. He's beaten Chicago. Some good defenses.
Like Latavius Murray last week, though, too.
Yeah, they didn't have Kamara last week, and they still got a win. I think they rest these guys. They got long-term plans of a Super Bowl. No sense rushing them back now.
So that's the Saints. Panthers, 49ers. McCaffrey. God, my fantasy team missed you last week. I'm going with the Panthers on the 49ers, though. I like the week. I just think the Niners offense, after showing last week an absolute snooze fest against the Skins, I feel like the Panthers can dominate on the offensive side of the football. So I'm going to go Panthers. Preems.
That Niners defense is unreal.
Yeah.
I think they get after the rookie quarterback there in Carolina. He's getting another start. Looks like they're resting Cam Newton for maybe the rest of the season or a trade. That'd be interesting. But the Niners' defense is so good. And their offense is nice, too. Kyle Shanahan's got a good thing going there. I got the Niners winning again.
Yeah, I'm taking the Niners on this one, only because the Panthers' offense is pretty one-dimensional. I mean, the Niners' defense is too good to come in there with an offense where you're either passing it to McCaffrey or running it with McCaffrey.
Just McCaffrey, run all around. Just give him the ball.
And then Greg Olsen gets 30 yards at some point throughout the game, but that's it.
3 more games to jump to, fellas. We got Raiders, Texans. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Offensive outburst by Texans. A little upset from losing last week. I'm going Texans. Hykel.
I'm taking the Raiders in this one. I think this is the time for the Raiders to, buy some little.
And there's 4 games left to talk about. Sorry, there is one more game. I forgot about our nice Monday night snooze fest, even though I'm a Steeler fan.
Just for the Raiders to steal a win in the division right now, because Kansas City's got a tough matchup this week with a backup quarterback.
Preems.
Looks like Josh Jacobs is questionable right now, so that could change things. That's a tough call. So I think that this is a game they have to win, kind of must win for them if they want to keep themselves atop the AFC. I got Houston winning it, especially if Josh Jacobs is out.
Interesting. Browns, Patriots. I'm sorry to everyone who doesn't like the Patriots. I'm just going to keep it simple. Patriots will defeat the Cleveland Browns on Sunday midday ball. Michael.
Oh, I'm going to take the Browns. I'm not happy about it. I am 0-7 so far against the Patriots this season, but the Patriots also haven't had an NFL caliber opponent. Hopefully they play the Toronto Argonauts next week.
Preems.
I got the Patriots here. That defense has been unreal. I have them in my fantasy. They have won me. I'm 6-1 right now. They've won me probably 6 weeks just because of them alone. And I think they keep it rolling on the defensive side, and Patriots keep undefeated.
Packers, Chiefs. This is my game of the week, to be honest with you. This is my game of the week. If Mahomes plays, it's my game of the week, I should mention. But the Packers and Chiefs, I think the Chiefs have been shown that they can be defeated. But at the end of the day, I think the Packers are in tough going into Kansas City on Sunday Night Football. So I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. Primo.
I think that they sit Mahomes this week. I don't think he plays. I think Matt Moore gets the start. But I think there's enough weapons on that Kansas City team to put up some points. And Andy Reid, this is kind of he used to coach Green Bay, so a little retribution here.
Yeah.
I think he's a little bit motivated this week to get a win, and I think the Chiefs find a way to beat the Packers, although Aaron Rodgers is hot, so it's going to be a good game, even with Matt Moore in and Mahomes not playing this week. But I think they find a way to sneak out a win.
So hot right now. Hykel.
You know what? Arrowhead's a tough place to play, especially in prime time. I mean, Colts were there 2 weeks ago on Sunday night. That was a low-scoring affair. I think this could be much of the same. I think this
the defense, KC, found a way to get pressure last week.
Yeah.
They almost set a record for sacks in a game, so if they can keep that up, defensive coordinator there, old Giants defensive coordinator, find a way to get some pressure. So if he can do that again, get Aaron Rodgers uncomfortable, could be a game.
I think it's going to be interesting. I'm taking Kansas City.
Kansas City, definitely be a good game. Now the Monday Night Football game.
That's what you want to call it?
Steelers and Dolphins. Hey, I'm a Steeler fan. Taking off my host hat for a second, and it's not been a great season. But they play the Dolphins. A little bit of excitement to get in the win column, I believe. I hope. Hey, let's hope anyways. We don't know. I got to pick the Steelers for obvious reasons, though. Primo.
Yeah, it's a good opponent to kind of boost your confidence, make you feel a little better about yourself. I got the Steelers.
I'm going to take the Dolphins.
Oh, I hate you so much.
Well, honestly, though, why can't they flex games out of Monday night? Why can't they flex this to Sunday at 1? The ESPN guys, I feel so bad for them. They have to go, they have to sit through the booth and pretend they give a shit through this entire game.
The Thursday night games have been better than the Monday night games this year.
I must remind you, we're ESPN guys, too. That's the big thing.
Could you imagine the schedule comes out, and you look at Monday night, and it's like, oh, sweet. The Patriots play the Jets. And you know what I get to follow that up with? The Dolphins and the Steelers. Wonderful. This is going to be an awesome year. All 8 people watching are going to be super happy about this at Buffalo Wild
People will watch that on Monday. I think people will.
The only way you're watching is you have someone in your fantasy lineup that you need points to win your weekly matchup. That's the only way you're watching that game.
I almost feel like if I should get the Pittsburgh defense in this game. Must have been highly picked up.
I would pick up that backup.
I don't know if
Dolphins
it's magic.
Back, to be honest.
Oh. I think they're going to trade Drake. I think Dolphins are going to trade him. Yeah.
Well, that backup they had was lighting it up against the Bills last week.
I think the Dolphins are going to trade everyone. They want every pick in the first round.
Who wants Dolphins players, though?
I don't know. Teams.
The good ones are gone already.
Yeah, they basically traded everyone good. They got that one DB that's...
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Eagles may want to get him because their defense sucks.
Dolphins, are they going to be 0 for this year and the Patriots win for this year?
No, the Dolphins will beat the
Patriots
a new one. This year.
What's that?
That's a new one.
A win for. A win for. Like that. Dave McCaig, Justin Hykel, Matt Premo, Side Sports Center Bar and Grill. This has been In the Pocket. Hykel, I know you got a boogie out of here, so we're going to let you and sign off. Primo, you're not on the interview for baseball?
I may be here, but not on the...
Okay, so I didn't think so. You're
physically, I am here.
I'll be watching Game 2, actually, while you guys do your interview.
I like that. So, Justin, we're going to sign you off, and we'll see you tomorrow at Northern Superior Brewing Company, my friend.
I will be there. That's
with bells on.
See how the World Series game goes tonight, and it's a slow night in hockey tonight, though. I think
2 games on the schedule. Yeah, that's it.
Slow night. And Preems, I know we're basically signing you off right now because when Conner comes on here, that's going to be the end of the show. So I say thank you for coming on here tonight, and we will have you on here next week.
Yeah,
and good luck with everything this weekend.
Yeah, looking to have a good time in Indianapolis. We'll do a full recap of that one if I can.
See if we can get you on the sidelines. You should tell us in advance.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a sideline. We'll see if I get myself a press pass there.
Get you on there. But also, obviously.
I'm with ESPN.
Yeah, you should be able just to say that you got the pass. Just tell them to call me or anyone, Scott. Yeah, that'll be good to go, I imagine. They'll be like, absolutely, sir. Here's your seat. But local football championships this weekend. Quick reminder to the listeners.
Yeah, so tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, Korah Colts are facing Superior Heights at almost said Rocky Pietro, almost went back at Superior Heights on the turf there. Go check it out. And then on Friday, 7:30, Korah versus St. Mary's Knights. It'll be another great game. The last couple of state championships have been really good games, so looking forward to another one.
Thursday, Friday, city championships for football, and that's been in the pocket here on the game. When we come back, Conner Henderson joins us for the last part of the show. And then after that, we're not back until tomorrow. So make sure you keep it locked here, though, because we got baseball discussion coming here next on the game.
Catch up next week.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show. It is David McCaig and Conner Henderson here on the final part of the Game Sports Show here on a Wednesday. Conner, how you doing, my friend? And also, I'm getting you in on all sorts of random times. You've been Tuesday, you've been Wednesday, you've been on Thursday. I'm just picking you for every show right now.
You know what? It's versatility that I like to bring to this lineup, Dave, and I pride myself in it. So it's good to be back.
Definitely, and always great to have you, Conner Henderson, our baseball analyst here on the Game Sports Show. The Game Sports Show brought to you by ESPN 1400, Sioux Online on TV, and thegamesportshow.com, and all of its sponsors and partners, and not just good looks, as one of our hosts would say, but one and only Conner Henderson. I got to just talk to you about the World Series, my friend. We talked about the Nationals making it already. We talked about it last week. But while we were talking last week, we talked about the Astros and Yankees were still involved in the playoffs. Now we know that the Yankees have been eliminated, and we're actually in, while we're recording right now, we're in Game 2 of the World Series between the Astros and the Nationals right now, and it's actually locked at 2 in the top of the 2 right now, and obviously by the time some people hear this recording, if it's not live and it's the day after, the game's going to be completed. So we're not going to really jump into Game 1 and 2 as much. We're going to talk about the World Series as a whole, maybe a little bit of Yankee news, then Conner, tomorrow we're going to have you on our Thursday show to kind of talk about Games 1 and 2. But is this the World Series that we talked about, and is it going to be the World Series that we expect to be as exciting?
I feel like this is a very interesting one. Managers are taking new approaches when it comes to constructing how they're going to go about this. Washington in particular has only declared 2 starting pitchers, Scherzer and Strasburg, and then from that point onward, anything can go. It's really interesting to see how much the bullpens have been involved, considering that's an aspect of the game that casual fans don't focus much on.
See, and that's the thing. The Nationals make such an interesting case, and I got to give you credit that, you know what, the Nationals are up 1-0 going into tonight, first off, okay? And I know you gave me kudos for saying that the Nationals were a team to watch out for in this playoffs, and I'm glad that my guess was right with that, so I look intelligent in terms of guessing. But with the Game 1 victory for the Nationals, that we're not going to, like I said, talk about Game 1 and 2 in its entirety, but this playoff run, just because the Nationals even winning the opening game of the World Series, just shows how unpredictable baseball is, just shows how good the Nationals are, or is it both?
It definitely is a little bit of both. To get this far, to get into the playoffs in general in baseball, you have to be a phenomenal team. Washington has proved that even as a wild card, they can make a run like we've seen teams do in the past. And Houston, on the flip side, has been the juggernaut all the way through. So it's been a very spicy route to get here. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But Washington has shown that you can take any which way to get to the finals. Playoffs can be random, but this one, I'd say, has shown that you can really earn your spot there, and they've done just that.
Definitely. Now, the Astros made it there in amazing fashion. Jose Altuve, okay, this guy is, and I'm not looking up stats here. I'm actually going to stick at the top of my head. I believe he's 5'9", 165 pounds, 175 pounds. I could be wrong about the poundage. But this guy has power for days, okay? And to see him hit that home run and defeat the Yankees, there's a lot of Yankee haters out there, but you got to respect the power in that lineup. So, two-parter question here. That win for the Astros, that home run was just amazing, and just that series overall, I feel, lived up to the hype overall in general. But second part of that question is, what happens with the Yankees now?
Well, to start, Jose Altuve, yes, he's a short man's hero, and to see such great contact out of a bat can really do a lot to inspire people of other small or physical statures out there. Sometimes people are weaker. You see the whole height doesn't measure heart movement in Toronto, strong with Stroman. But in terms of the Yankees moving forward, they'll always be okay with that bankroll. The neat thing that they've shown in the last few years is a movement to youth and farm system development. It's not just them flexing their wallets like they've done in the past. They've really developed the farm system. They'll be fine moving forward.
See, the Yankees have been known to be a team just to buy, right? That they got the cash. And players want to play there, especially from other countries where people look at the Red Sox, look at the Yankees, right? You're looking at these organizations and you see wins, you see championships. And what I see with the Astros is a team that built players from the draft. Altuve, Correa, Springer, Brickman. I might be missing a few at the top of my head there, but at the end of the day, this is a team that built through the draft. And the Nationals aren't too much different. Okay, but these are two different teams in terms of, let's say, style of play going into the World Series.
Yeah, very much so. When you look at the Astros and their development process from when they were the Houston Disastros of the past, barely getting to 60 wins in a season, there was dark days there. And Carlos Correa going first overall, Bregman in the top 5. It was a slow burn to get to where they are today. And then they pull triggers on guys like Justin Verlander and Zach Greinke. Washington is much the same, except some of those young guys like Bryce Harper didn't end up making it to the promised land with the team. It's interesting to see how some of those people make the trek, like Steven Strasburg and others, part ways before teams get to where they want to go.
Definitely. Now you have the circumstance where the Blue Jays fans are hoping that it goes this way in terms of the draft, but it shows that patience is key and that you can truly build a team in the draft in the MLB. And I think both these teams, obviously to the exception of, Max Scherzer was acquired for the Nationals, but Strasburg and everything. But I think both these teams show the model that building through the draft could help. Now, Nationals are also came from the Montreal Expos kind of system too, but not a whole bunch of players that are drafted by the Expos are obviously on that team any longer. But you have I love the belief that the draft system can work in the MLB. It can make a small market team grow into a large market team. And both teams show this.
Yeah, the arbitration process of the MLB might be seen to screw the players for the first half decade of their contracts, not being able to accumulate long and large payouts. But seeing teams like the Nationals and Astros be able to build that way in ways that have surpassed even franchises like the Los Angeles Lakers in the NBA, who had multiple second overall pick in a sport where those picks matter even more, and haven't gotten it done. It's lovely to see that in a sport like baseball, there are multiple ways to win, and these teams have proven it.
See, now you can have a first overall pick in the MLB, and it don't matter. Look where Mike Trout went in the draft, right? You build a stud, and now the Angels haven't done much, mind you. Okay, they haven't succeeded like the Astros have currently at this point. But at the end of the day, it shows that the draft can be so successful, and kind of transitioning us into what we're going to talk about tomorrow here on the game. When we talk about the first two games. The Nationals go into this series as underdogs. Is that an understatement, or is that what the Nationals want to hear? Because they've been underdogs this whole playoffs.
Yeah, that's not an understatement. They've been fighting and clawing the entire way through, and they're going to have to do it to finish off this run.
See, what is going to be now the keys to both teams winning? If the Astros are going to win the World Series, what is the key? If the Nationals are going to win, what is the key?
The Astros are going to have to make sure that their starters go long. Both Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander are pivotal to this, but Zach Greinke as well. They have deeper starter depth than the Nationals. They need to get those guys innings and long innings. The Nationals have to do the complete opposite. Make this a bullpen game, and they'll get the edge.
See, what I like about the Nationals is that they've taken a perspective where they have Scherzer go in, and then Strasburg goes in the final 3 or 4 innings. And that is the way I think you should pitch in a playoff-like kind of environment, is that your best arms are going at all times. And you and I have talked about this already, I think, once or twice since having you on when the playoffs started. And I think that philosophy worked. We know that the Blue Jays tried it, and they're running 2015 with David Price, R.A. Dickey, which don't even get me started about the R.A. Dickey trade in Toronto, okay? But I know you're laughing at that because that was one of the worst trades. And I read that and also been told by certain baseball experts in the Toronto area that they had the opportunity to get Madison Baumgartner, and they went the route of R.A. Dickey. But that's for another just conversation, as Noah Syndergaard goes on the mound for the Mets on a year basis, and he's still throwing absolute bombs. But you have kind of a perspective, I think, in the playoffs, which is so smart to do to have a smart bullpen. The Andrew Millers with the Cleveland and all that. And the Nationals, you got to say, even though the Nationals aren't as good as a team as the Astros, and that the Astros do have a very good bullpen, I think the Nationals would have the upper hand if it went to the bullpen.
I'd say so. They've definitely game planned for it moving into this World Series. Game 3 is most likely going to be an opener situation with all hands on deck. I love seeing it. It really brings a new nuance to the game.
It does. Now, as we mentioned on the top of here, that Game 2 is currently going on. It's in the second inning. It's 2-2 for the Astros and the Nationals Game 2. The Nationals won Game 1 5-4. And tomorrow is when Conner and I are going to continue our conversation from today. So just a nice little teaser for people to want more. We're going to talk about Game 1 and 2 tomorrow from Northern Superior Brewing Company. So, Conner, any final thoughts in terms of the World Series, or are we going to make the listeners wait until more news tomorrow?
I think we got to leave them waiting, Dave.
I like that. Make them wait on the mound while you're about to throw the pitch, because everyone may not know, but you're a very good pitcher yourself, Conner.
Lots of curveballs from me, Dave.
Lots of curveballs, and I think you had 3 straight strikeouts in one game, mind you, and I think you actually went in front of me to pitch because I wanted to pitch against Ryan McDonald.
Yeah, good memories, and I'm looking forward to making more.
Oh, that's good. We're going to make more on the mound and obviously here on the show. So, Conner, I want to say thank you, and we're going to have you on tomorrow from Northern Superior Brewing Company, my friend.
Thanks, Dave.
Definitely. Now, that was Conner Henderson here, a baseball analyst with the Game Sports Show. Going to get to the conclusion part right now. I want to say thank you to Matt Premo and Justin Hykel, our co-hosts here on the Game Sports Show. And, of course, to Conner Henderson, as I just mentioned, another co-host of the game in terms of being our baseball analyst. And also I want to say thank you to Frank Ligori, also Alicia White, and just overall here at Sports Center Bar and Grill, Sioux's Best Sports Bar 3 years in a row. Hopefully to making it 4. And you have the chance to vote online, so make sure you get on top of doing that. And also, when it comes to football, the Sunday game day draws, you have a chance to win 4 tickets to the Miller Lite Tap Room here at Sports Center to go a part of the Detroit Lions game. And the next draw will be for the November 17th game against the Cowboys. You can go up in the Miller Lite Tap Room in Detroit, Michigan. That's definitely a great prize. And I want to say thank you to Scott Nason, who's going to be our board operator tonight, the main board operator, as yours truly is unable to do operational duties as I broke the game and the show's laptop. So we are currently using, again, as I mentioned, a spare laptop. So hopefully the listening experience was still positive, and we're very happy they're able to keep it locked here on the Twin Cities only local regional national sports show, The Game. We are going to be back tomorrow, as I mentioned, from Northern, as I told Conner and told you guys a few moments ago. And then we're also going to have Justin and Alex on scene there from Northern Superior Brewing Company. Many more great shows to come here on The Game. And this week I'm reminding you, just getting back in the pocket, that we have local football, junior and senior championship starting tomorrow, which is Thursday, and then Friday will be the senior game at Superior Heights. So make sure you get on down to check that out, because we know the Game Sports Show will be there. Don't hesitate to follow us on social media at the Game Sports Show, Facebook and Instagram, thegamesportshow.com, and thegamesportshow.podbean.com as well. And thank you to ESPN 1400 and Sioux Online, proud partners and sponsors of the game, and a special shout out to Demansky and Compass Signage and Imaging as well for their new sponsorship here on The Game. And if you want to be a sponsor, don't hesitate to reach out here on The Game. And you know what? I want to get to the usual closing portion, but I'm going to keep it simple tonight. As I sign off on Tuesday, I'm not going to do keep your stick on the ice portion. I'm going to change it up here tonight because we didn't have a Tuesday show. So I'm just going to remind you, listeners, to keep your stick on the ice, keep your ears open, keep it locked here on The Game, and booyah.